we're doing it, man. We're doing 10 powerful video game villains that died in stupid ways. Right. Hello all of you little demons, Jules here for WhatCulture.com, back again with another episode of the awesomely named and awfully hosted Choose Your Own Adventure, where I, the crown jewels of WhatCulture.com, take a list written by you, or decided on by you, yes you, the man who had to carry 17 bags of rubble over the weekend and realised how old and weak his knees are. Yes, you, get to decide what list I dole out to you each and every week. And this week we have Ariane Nadu for their suggestion of video game villains that died in ridiculous ways. And I have to agree with you, my friend, this is a point of contention that really boils my piss, because if you spend hours, weeks even, building up to what is potentially a final climactic boss battle only for them to slip down some stairs and crack their neck at the bottom, you're gonna be like, what? Also, Borderlands did that really well. I know that was a kind of weird example, but yes, if it happened in, say, like Dungeons and Dragons, or in, like, I don't know, Metal Gear, actually that's another series that's a bit odd and off the wall. If it happened in PT, for example, no, son. So let's have a look at them today, as we are looking at 10 video game bosses that died in ridiculous ways. And yes, I'm Jules, this is WhatCulture.com, and leave your suggestions for next week's episode in the comment section below. And also, say hello to me in the live chat over here. Alright, this guy, Big Ledge. Anyway, let's go on with the list. Number 10, the Snatcher, A Hat in Time. So not only is the Snatcher a powerful enemy, but he's actually also a really crafty one as well, because he realises that you can only attack him when he's blue, he's vulnerable, but then he just goes, well, I'm just not going to turn blue anymore. And at that point, across the world, everyone rose from their seats and was like that Citizen Kane slow cut thing, where they're just kind of like, this is brilliant, this is brilliant, it's finally a video game boss who's understood how to beat him and he's turned it off. He's just gone, no, I'm not having this anymore. But then you immediately sit back down and put your head in your hands when you realise that he still attacks you with blue-based weapons, so you just throw it back in his face. Just like that. Oh, stop. Oh, God, why? No. Sound like I broke my chair then. How could you have been so silly to do this, you fool? You're now giving us the sole way to beat you by just allowing us to throw this slop back in your face. Although, to be fair, I feel like people would have been more than a little annoyed if they came up against a boss who could literally not be beaten. But then again, we do exist in a world where the Dark Souls community exists, so yeah, maybe they would enjoy that one. Anyway, Snatcher, in short, you done goofed. Number 9, TIKIMON, Crash TWINSANITY. Also, just side note, by the way, wearing this amazing t-shirt by Christworks. Send it over. Big Ledges, check him out. Also sent me a cool hat. Finally, I'm Tienshen from Dragon Ball Z. Look at my third eye. Solar Flare, Goku, Solar Flare. So Crash TWINSANITY was an amazing game, wasn't it? I know that I rag on the sequels in the Crash franchise that weren't made by Naughty Dog, but this truly was the gem in an otherwise quagmire of absolute cack. I mean, it had everything. It had the comedy, it had the gameplay, it had the music performed by Spiral Mouth, which just set my soul alight with pure joy. In fact, you know what that means. Yes, that's right, it's time for this week's musical interlude. I don't know why I'm going so aggressive. Osley, strike up the band that is your sexy mouth. James, also again, sexy mouth.
Bum 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 bum.
And Jules, I'll tune up. I wish I could do that thing from that, is it that Eurovision thing where that guy's just like, he's like a human turkey. Because today, we're going a cappella style.
Bum 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 boom bum boom bum boom bum 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 bum.
And to top all of this off, there was the way that Crash and Cortex interacted with one another, as you would basically use Cortex as a weapon or unwilling assistant to help you over obstacles. In fact, it was such an abuse of the poor scientist that leads to a ridiculous boss down, and that's in the form of TIKIMON. Now, at first, the boss seems completely impervious to your attacks, and it might end up costing you a fair few lives as you try to figure it out, but then you start to think outside the box. Well, if I can't hurt it with regular attacks, what if I throw Cortex at it? No, surely this can't work, that's too... No, he's just eaten him whole and now it's doing damage. Cortex, you hammer-headed beauty! It's a ridiculous moment to say the least, but then again, this is a ridiculous game. Number 8, DEVIN WESTON, GTA 5. So despite being a millionaire, owning a private military organization, and basically being able to use his wealth to be, well, an utter dick, poor old Devin here, well, he can't escape karma. Because if you chose ending or option C at the end of GTA 5, and let's face it, we all definitely did that, you'll get to see him absolutely bite the big one in ridiculous fashion. Because in this ending, after duping the corrupt FIB members and the Merryweather Corporation to kill one another, our questionably heroic protagonists hunt Weston down and then kidnap him. In a cutscene that few will ever forget, Trevor reveals a tied-up Devin in his car trunk, stripped down to his underwear, before you then get to push his car into the ocean with him inside, sealing his doom. It is so utterly ridiculous and satisfying to take down this man who really has built a career out of deceit, lies and betrayal, and you get to push him in the back of a crappy car in his underwear to his doom. I mean, it's not a nice way to go, but it is yet another reason why I absolutely love GTA 5. Well, that and the peyote missions, which allow you to actually become animals. That was the best bit! Hands down, that was the best bit. Oh, I'm an eagle. I'm gonna take you out with a shit. Number 7, RINRIN, MADWORLD. Oh me, oh my. MADWORLD is such a game, right? I mean, it's just so uber stylish and uber violent, and, well, it's very, very surprising that it was released on the Wii. That was like the most family-friendly console around, then you had this going. In short, I had a gorgasm the moment that I turned a man into red mist using a wall grinder, and as you might expect from the minds who would even make this game in the first place, some of the takedowns are ludicrously over the top, and RINRIN is no exception. Equal parts elegant and bloodthirsty, RINRIN uses everything in her arsenal to try and take you down, including some pretty cool fan weapons and bombs and pretty much anything else not strapped down to the floor. It's a battle that actually grows more and more desperate as it goes on, until you finally land the killing blow, and this happens. RINRIN gets launched into an animatronic figure eating from a big bowl of admittedly pretty lush-looking noodles, which then picks up the poor fighter and then chomps her to pieces. Ouch. I knew that she was a snack, but maybe this is taking things too literally. Oh, God, get out of my house, that was funny. It's brutal, it's stylish, it's goddamn ridiculous, and it is totally the type of thing that makes MADWORLD so bloody brilliant. Number 6, Scott Shelby, Heavy Rain. So generally speaking, the most likely scenario that you'll see for the ending of Scott Shelby in Heavy Rain will be him being likely taken apart by one of the many protagonists because, well, we're all basically trying to aim for the good ending, right? However, a really ridiculous moment happens if you basically fail at that task but still manage to get him done over. I'll explain. Because if you somehow don't manage to murder Shelby in some form during the old warehouse chapter, you've still a decent chance of him being killed. Because if Lauren, the grieving mother that Scott visits towards the start of the story, survives to the end of the game, she'll detect the detective and work out that Shelby is the origami killer. Oh yeah, spoilers. Before then shooting him dead to avenge her son. Also spoilers. She's able to do this by phoning all of the other parents who've lost their children due to the origami killer, and then discovers from each of them that Shelby was never hired to investigate their cases, and thus is only gathering evidence in order to get rid of it and avoid suspicion. So how is this rather tragic tale ridiculous? Well, I'll tell you. Because after all of his master plans, after all of his scheming, his plan was undone by you phoning like 4 people. That's bloody stupid. Number 5, Dr. KRIEGER, Far Cry Instincts. So Far Cry as a franchise has a history of bringing us memorable, intelligent, and quite charismatically captivating villains, and Dr. KRIEGER is no exception. Although he is definitely memorable more so for a pretty ridiculous reason, because his final villainous gambit in this game, it's goddamn stupid. After creating a horde of genetically engineered humans that he aims to make more animalistic and primal, KRIEGER tries to convince his goons to kill you when you arrive by pointing out that you've just killed Crow, their former leader. Now, as we know, in video game logic and in the animal kingdom, if you tell somebody with an animal brain or something with an animal brain that you've killed their leader, well, that makes you the alpha leader. So they ignore him and wait for you to tell them to eat him. Come on, dude, you're meant to be a doctor. How did you not see this coming? You see, the animal kingdom works on this kind of like transference of power thing. It's like, remember a few weeks back I did a jug solo on the musical interlude of a previous Choose Your Own Adventure? Well, I got those powers by killing somebody else who was a pro jug player. Probably shouldn't have admitted to that on camera. Oh, it's the edit this out. Naturally, this leads to them tearing KRIEGER apart without you having to lift a bloody finger to kill him. For a genius scientist, this guy really does sign his own death warrant with this one. Number 4, Colonel VOLGIN, Metal Gear Solid 3. So VOLGIN has, according to many, one of the coolest, but also at the same time most ridiculous deaths in the entire Metal Gear Solid franchise. And honestly, when you break it down, it's easy to see why. When he's introduced, the lightning rippling off him makes it pretty clear what his unique power is, and what you're going to have to try and dodge in your fight with him much later in the game. However, this scene also reveals a lot about Volgin's relationship with the lightning that he can wield, as his chanting is actually a Japanese saying that is meant to ward off being struck by lightning. And it's in this moment you realise that he's actually pissed scared of being hit by his own powers. And it's here when the sheer comedy factor of his death comes into play, because you see in your second battle with him, he starts getting the upper hand and starts getting a bit cocky. Ooh, you silly sausage, shouldn't be doing that right now, stay focused, because he stops chanting and says, "Who's afraid of a little thunder?" And then he gets hit by bloody lightning and set on fire. When I was playing this for the first time, I was just like, I'm sorry, what, brother? You done goofed, pal. You done goofed. You know why he got absolutely smoted? It's because he wasn't paying respect to Slime Jesus. If he was respecting the power, and trust me, I am respecting the power, he wouldn't have been hit by lightning because he would have been chanting. I keep him at bay because I feed him YouTube money every month. I just chuck it up there. Yeah, it's quite greedy. I won't say anything bad. I won't say anything bad. Praise Slime Jesus. Number 3, REZA ZAYDAN, HITMAN. So General ZAYDAN is a man whose ambition is power, and he's been accruing a lot of it over his life, becoming a general at a very early age of 49, which doesn't sound that young, but trust me, in the army that is almost unheard of. And he leads the entirety of the Moroccan army, and he's quite feared because of his, rather extreme torture methods. In short, he is no joke. Although what is when you find out that you can kill him by dropping a toilet on him. Honestly, it is a brilliant and perfect moment that encapsulates why the Hitman games are so special. You get to prang some fella with some porcelain and watch him bleed out on the concrete below, smothered in poop. God, I love this franchise. Number 2, Ivan, Syberia 2. So even if you never intend on playing a game from the Syberia franchise, you should definitely look up Ivan's death from the second game because, trust me, it's a humdinger. To set up this beautifully dumb demise, it's worth mentioning that Ivan is one of the 2 villains of the game, with he and his brother going to great and quite evil lengths to try and obtain mammoth ivory to sell at a great price. After being antagonized by our hero Kate, Ivan eventually, late in the game, resorts to throwing a penguin egg. I know, right? Weird weapon choice. Still, this actually turns out to be a terrible idea as the surrounding penguins are understandably pretty peeved with his actions and thus peck him to death. Nice. Now there's no gore to be shown to the player whatsoever here, but Kate's reactions and the sounds make it, well, one of the most horrifying experiences that I've ever witnessed in a video game, and also reminds me that it's not just geese that we need to fear. For the penguins, they're coming for us. And number 1, Teddy, Dead Rising 3. Now while the award for most surreal psychopath in Dead Rising 3 will definitely be Darlene, she isn't exactly, super threatening, just being a rather obese lady who's very, very hungry and does have a comedically oversized spork. I also want one of these for reasons. Teddy, however, is an entirely different type of lunatic because he's got a whole Saw film's worth of traps and clever weaponry at his disposal, and yet he's so preoccupied with his current video game session that he doesn't even seem to realize that there's a zombie outbreak ongoing. And unlike every boss fight in this game, you don't actually battle Teddy. You only have to get past his security system, and then seeing you will give him a heart attack, officially placing him as the winner of the most humiliating way to die during a zombie outbreak, an award that Owsley has kindly made, and it looks like that. God, wouldn't you want to win that? And there we go, my friends. Those were 10 powerful video game villains that died in stupid, ridiculous, and pretty humiliating ways. I hope that you enjoyed that, my friends, and let me know what you thought about it down in the comment section below. And if you want to catch up with me on the socials, you can do so over on Twitter at RetroJ, or you can swing by Live and Let's Dice, my personal gaming channel where I stream every Wednesday and Sunday. But here's the thing. Before I go, I just want to say one thing. You guys have become such an invaluable part of my week and my lifestyle. I genuinely look forward to these videos each and every week, not only because I get to chat to you in the live stream, but because I just find it so rewarding that we get to engage on a different level. The ideas that you send in, the chats that we have, it's fantastic. I hope that you guys are doing well. I know right now, fingers crossed, we are on what I would consider to be the upswing of us getting back to a little bit of normality. But please just treat each other with respect, stay safe, make sure that you're still abiding by the guidelines in your own area, because at the end of the day, we don't want to be plunged back into the Middle Ages again with all of this. But after all of that, just make sure that you're taking care of yourself, okay? I've seen a lot of people reach out to me recently just saying that obviously this has had a big hit on their mental health, sorry. And I can totally understand why. It's a lot to deal with at the best of times, and then having all of this can get too much. So take a break. That is more than okay. Check in with yourself. Speak to your friends and family. Keep them in the loop. Because trust me, a problem shared is a problem solved in the long run, and just beginning these conversations can help you on the road to becoming a healthier and happier person. I know that you're a massive ledge. I've always known that. Now go show the world that. As always, I've been Jules. You have been awesome. Please never forget that. And I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.